Recording begins. Ambient sound, the narrow stairwell, closed walls, a different quality of silence than the floors below. This is recording 17. I'm on the stairs, 3 steps up from the hallway. I stopped here because of Hannah's warning. Do not rush the 3rd step. 6 words, no explanation. She had 4 years of context behind that sentence, and she gave me 6 words, which means the warning isn't complicated, it's absolute. The 3rd step has a condition. Rushing it produces a consequence she considered serious enough to write down without elaborating. I've been standing on the 3rd step for 2 minutes. I'm using the time to think through what I know before I go further. Step 1 was the records room, a place I'd been in dozens of times without understanding it as a step. Step 2 was the stairwell descent, a landing I'd never reached, a marker cut into the wall. Both of those steps had physical markers I found after the fact. The crescent and the number told me I'd completed something I was already doing. Step 3 is different. Hannah's warning implies it requires active patience, not just presence. You can't accidentally complete it by moving through the space. You have to stay. You have to wait for something that happens on the archive schedule, not yours. That's the part she didn't want me to rush. Not the arrival. The duration. I don't know how long that is. She didn't say, which means either the duration varies, or she knew the duration and decided not to write it down, or she learned it the hard way by leaving too early and having to return. I'm going to continue, slowly. The stairwell is narrow, narrower than the one going down. My shoulders are close to both walls simultaneously. 7 steps total. I'm counting as I go. The wood is older than the floors below. It doesn't creak so much as compress, a dense sound like the stairs are absorbing weight rather than transferring it. At the top, a door. Already open, not fully, 6 inches, maybe 8. Enough to see light beyond it, not electric, diffuse, the kind of light that comes through frosted glass or thin curtains over a window that faces away from direct sun. I'm pushing the door open slowly. The 2nd floor is a hallway. That's the first thing. Not a room, not an open space. A hallway running in both directions from where I'm standing, left and right. The ceiling is lower than downstairs by what feels like a foot. The walls are closer. The same bare plaster as the rest of the building, but unmarked. No crescent symbols, no catalog drawers, no shelving, just walls and doors. The doors. There are 6 that I can see from here. 3 to the left, 3 to the right. Each one is the same, dark wood, no visible hardware except a small brass latch identical to the one on the stairwell door. And beside each door, mounted at eye level, a small brass frame, the kind used for index cards. Catalog slots. I'm moving closer to the nearest one. The slot beside the first door on the left holds a card. I can see the edge of it. I'm pulling it out carefully. Plain white. Archive stock. The familiar ruled lines and pre-printed category headers, filled in by the same angular pressed hand I've seen before. The same hand as the protocol card. The letter in the drawer. Under subject, A. Keller. Under status, closed. Under dates, 1987, 1987. I don't know who A. Keller is. The name doesn't appear in anything I've read. But the format of this card is different from every other catalog card in this building. Every other card references a place, an object, an event. This one references a person, with a status, and a date range. I'm replacing it and moving to the next slot. Under subject, L. Carter. Under status, closed. Under dates, 1972, 1974. 2 years. L. Carter was active for 2 years. Active doing what, in what context the card doesn't say, just the range. 3rd slot. Under subject, redacted. Under status, closed. Under dates, 1953, 1959. 6 years, the name removed entirely. I'm stopping here. I need to document what I think I'm looking at before I continue. Because if I'm reading this correctly, the implications are significant. And I want the record to reflect when I understood it, rather than constructing understanding after the fact. These cards are not records about investigators. They are records of investigators. Each door on this floor corresponds to a person who reached step 3 of the sequence. The catalog slots are tracking entries. The archive is not storing knowledge about the investigation. It is storing the investigators themselves as records, as entries in its own system. A. Keller, 1987, closed. L. Carter, 1972 to 1974, closed. Someone whose name has been removed, 1953 to 1959, closed. Closed means finished or removed, or something the archive decided to classify as ended. That last one, the redacted name, 6 years, 1953 to 1959, I keep returning to it. 6 years is a long time to be inside a system like this. Long enough that whatever happened at the end of it was significant enough to remove the name entirely. Not close the record, remove the identity. The card still exists, the dates still exist, the name is gone. I don't know if that's a warning or just a fact of the system. I'm noting it as both until I know otherwise. I need to check the remaining slots before I interpret further. Stay with the evidence. Don't build the conclusion before the evidence is complete. Fourth slot. Under subject R. Velasquez, under status closed, under dates 2031. I'm reading that again, 2031 to 2031. The current year is not 2031. 2031 has not happened. That date range is in the future. That is either a clerical error, a formatting anomaly, or something else entirely that I am not going to characterize on this recording because I do not have a framework for it, and saying what it might mean out loud feels like the wrong move right now. I'm replacing the card, moving on. Fifth slot under subject H. Morrison. Under status, active. Under dates, Oct 2019, present, active. She's still active. The archive considers her current. The date range starts 4 years ago, October, the same month written inside the ledger cover, and it runs to present. I'm looking at this card longer than I should. I'm aware of that. The handwriting on it is the same angular pressed hand as all the others, not Hannah's hand. Someone else filled this in, someone or something that maintains these records independently of the investigators themselves. She doesn't know this card exists, or she does and chose not to mention it in the ledger. Both of those possibilities are uncomfortable in different ways. What I can say is that 4 years is the longest active range on this floor. L. Carter ran 2 years. The redacted investigator ran 6, but closed. Hannah has been running 4 years and is still open, still present, still accumulating. I wonder if she's seen her own card. I wonder what it felt like if she did. Sixth slot. The frame is empty. No card. The slot is clean. No residue. No indentation from a previous card. No wear on the brass frame from repeated use. This slot has either never held a card or was emptied and cleaned deliberately. I'm looking at the door beside it. There's no label, no name. The door looks identical to the others. Dark wood, brass latch, same dimensions. But the slot beside it is empty in a way that feels intentional. I'm checking the frame more carefully. The inside edge of the brass frame, there's a small engraved marking, almost too small to read without the flashlight directly on it. It's my name. The slot is mine. No card yet, just the frame with my name on it, waiting. The archive knew I would reach this floor. It prepared a slot before I arrived, and the card isn't here yet, which means the archive does not yet consider me a complete record. I haven't finished the step. I want to be precise about what this means and what it doesn't. The slot existing before I arrived doesn't mean I was destined to come here in some predetermined way. It could mean the archive prepared slots for multiple possible investigators and simply never filled the ones that didn't make it this far. Like a hotel room reserved and then canceled. The reservation existed. The occupant didn't arrive. But my name is on the frame, not a category, not a description. My specific name, which requires either that the archive knew who I specifically was before I arrived, or that the name was added after I began the investigation and the slot was backdated, or that the frame updates itself the way the ledger updated itself when I opened it outside the building. I've been standing here for a full minute looking at an empty brass frame. I'm aware of how that looks in the record. I'm documenting the pause deliberately. This is the first time in this investigation that I've found direct physical evidence of my own presence anticipated by the system. The map had my name in the margin, but that could have been Hannah. This frame is the archive's own infrastructure. This is the building itself, preparing a place for me. I don't know how to be neutral about that. I'm trying. I'm replacing. There's nothing to replace. I'm stepping back from the slot. I need to find the crescent mark. The step 3 marker, same as the floor downstairs, same as the records room, a crescent cut into the building surface with a number below it. Finding the marker and waiting beside it is the task. Everything else on this floor, the cards, the slots, the doors, is context. The step requires the marker. The floor up here is different. Narrower boards, darker wood. I'm moving the flashlight along the baseboards on both sides. There's a sound at the far end of the hallway. Left side, a door settling or something shifting behind one of the closed doors. I'm not going toward it. Follow the sequence. Don't improvise. Nothing on the left side baseboards. Checking the right. Halfway down the right side, between the 4th and 5th doors, the baseboard has a section that's been replaced. Newer wood, slightly different color, and cut into the center of it, a crescent. Below it, the number 3. Found it. Now I wait. That's what the warning meant. The 3rd step requires waiting, not just arriving. Hannah wrote, "Don't rush it," because rushing it means leaving before the step accepts you. The archive needs time to register completion, or the floor needs time to settle around a new presence, or some condition has to be met that I can't observe directly. I'm sitting down against the wall next to the marker. The hum up here is different. Downstairs it's a low, even tone, constant, easy to stop noticing. Up here it fluctuates, not dramatically. A barely perceptible rhythm, like something cycling, something running at intervals. I've been sitting here for what I estimate is 3 minutes, and I've counted roughly 8 cycles. Each one lasts about 20 seconds, then a pause of 5 or 6 seconds, then it begins again. I don't know what that means. I'm documenting it because Hannah's ledger suggested the building is a system with mechanics. Systems have cycles. Whatever is running up here runs on a different interval than whatever runs downstairs. I can see it from here. 3rd door on the left. The light is the same diffuse quality as the light I came in through, not electric, not a flashlight. Something ambient. Something the room produces on its own, or something coming through a window I can't see from this angle. I'm not moving. I'm watching the light from where I'm sitting, and I'm keeping my hands still, and I'm not standing up. This is exactly what Hannah meant. The 3rd step produces things worth investigating. A door with light behind it is worth investigating. A sound worth investigating. The warning isn't about the step being dangerous. It's about the step being distracting. If I get up every time something shifts on this floor, I will never complete the wait. I will keep moving toward new stimuli, and the archive will keep producing them, and the step will never register. I'm staying where I am. I'm getting up. There's a card in it. It wasn't here 20 minutes ago. The slot was empty. Now it holds a card, same stock as the others, same angular pressed hand. Under subject, under status, active. Under dates, today, no end date, just an open line after the dash. The archive has filed me. I existed in this building for months before reaching this floor, and the archive did not consider me a complete record until this moment. Steps 1 and 2 were approach. Step 3 is registration. The building now knows I'm here in whatever way this system constitutes knowing. My name is in the frame. My card is in the slot. My dates are open. Step 4 is the southern node. That's what comes next. That's what I'm moving toward. Down the hallway, the far end, past the doors, past the slot for R. Velasquez with its impossible future date, a door closes, quietly. The latch engages with a small, precise sound. I'm looking at the slot beside that door. The card reads, subject unknown, status active. There's another active record on this floor.